Coming to you from sunny California and the Great White North. Get ready. We are breaking down the obstacles on the Armchair Ninja Podcast. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Armchair Ninja Podcast. It is Saturday, March 30th, 2019. My name is Rich, and joining me once again is Bijan. How you making out?
Greetings and salutations, my man, and hello to everyone at home.
Yes, and welcome to another episode of ANW Junior coverage.
Yes.
Thankfully, we have some fans out there, some listeners that hooked us up, let us know where to find it. And for those of you that have been asking over time, Amazon Prime is your hookup. You can get it there.
Thank God. At least there's a way, man, because I'm literally scratching my head. I'm like, I'm not going to spend hundreds of dollars per month to get a premium cable package. It's just not going to happen. So at least Amazon Prime gives us an option.
Yes. Thank you very much to the few people. We've got Chris Basham, John Harris, Daniel Mount, all wrote in. I think there was even more. Sorry if I forgot your names. But yes, everybody wants us to cover it. It's great to know that people are listening and enjoying it.
Yeah, I'm glad at least there's interest in, our coverage. Because every once in a while, I'm like, do people care about us covering, this? Like, I know people are listening, but do they care? I'm glad that people do, because this is a fantastic show. I'm glad the support's there, and I'm glad people are genuinely interested in hearing our thoughts. Also, dude, $15 for the entire season? That is not bad in the slightest, man.
Nope, perfectly reasonable. I'm on board for that. So let's get into it. We're not going to do a catch-up episode quite yet. We're just going to do episode 13 today, but we should be able to start getting caught up and getting back on track. We may take a little detour here because there's another show.
Oh, we will.
$1 Million Mile, I believe it's called.
Yes.
That came onto our radar, and I think we have to check that out.
Yeah, I'm excited for that show. When I saw the previews, I was like, this is going to be dope. It's not getting the coverage that Titan Games did, which in my opinion is shocking because at least from the previews, the premise of this show looks far superior to Titan Games. But yeah, I mean, we'll have to see how it goes. Probably next week I'm going to be checking it out. I don't know about you, Rich, but maybe we'll cover it then. Yeah,
I think that's probably what we'll do. For anyone that has seen it, please let us know what you think, if you think it's something we should be covering. To give you a brief synopsis for those that haven't seen the previews, LeBron James is the face of this show, and they have a 1 mile race through Los Angeles, I believe, with an athlete chasing them down, trying to catch them before they can reach the end and win $1 million.
What a dope premise, dude. You can just imagine. And by the way, it's not just them, running, there's obstacles and, parkour, different, it's a variety of different, things that they have to do on the path to getting to this mile thing. In a ways, it's not a Spartan race, but if you guys think about, Spartan Sprint, where it's just 3 miles with obstacles all around, imagine something like that condensed into 1 mile. And just some Flip Rodriguez, with claws or something going I'm gonna get you, and you're running for your life, it's coming like that. It's awesome. His miraculous wavy hair is gonna just wrap you up and strangle you or something.
I love it. The visual is amazing.
Yeah, I'm sure I'm gonna give people nightmares with that, but
all right, let's get into our ANW Junior coverage here. Let's get back into the heart of Ninja.
Yes.
These kids are amazing. They never fail to impress. They never fail to shock me with their athleticism, their crazy stories and accomplishments. It's just unbelievable, this show.
Yeah, man. I mean, the fiance came home from work and started watching it with me, and she loved it. This is a show. Unfortunately, I hate harping on this, but the channel it's on, it's not getting enough attention, I feel. This show could be really big if it was on something I don't know, USA or something? I don't know. Go in the time slot where Ninja vs. Ninja was. This could be a huge hit show. I understand the demographic they're going for. I don't know if, Universal NBC properties have a bigger, so to say, children's channel. I'd have to see what's owned by them. Maybe Nickelodeon. Is Nickelodeon part of NBC family? I don't know.
Probably not. But I will say this. I'm betting they didn't know how great it would turn out, and that it could appeal to an adult fan base. Like it doesn't matter that they're kids. It really doesn't. It's such a great ninja show.
Yeah, it hits all the factors of family fun. And that's a really good point, Rich, because now that I think about it, I mean, when you think about American Ninja Warrior proper, right? It was on G4 for a few seasons, and then it went to NBC and became huge. Same thing for Ninja versus Ninja. I mean, Team Ninja Warrior was on a smaller channel. I'm trying to remember what it was, but it was...
Esquire.
What was Team Ninja Warrior? Was it?
It was Esquire.
Esquire, yeah. So it was like basically the newer G4, you know, and then it moved over to USA where it got more attention. So maybe this is a similar thing, Rich.
Could be. It could be. I hope so, because looking at this lineup here, we had right off the bat in the 9 and 10 age bracket, Paxton Myler versus Enoch Jones. I think that's right. A very close race. Enoch ended up falling on the spin cycle, and Paxton got the win after a fantastic one-handed catch on the last cycle. Like, they kept calling it a fingertip, and I went back because it wouldn't have surprised me if he caught it by one finger. But it was close to that, but it was one-handed, and it was amazing.
Yeah, and this is like one of the things that you can only see on ANW Junior, because if a full-grown adult did that, instant dislocated shoulder.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? The strength to weight ratio is so off the charts that they can just do these amazing saves that you can't see anywhere else. It's so cool.
Yeah.
After that, we had Grace Poole versus Michael Beza. Grace is small but mighty, as her shirt says. They had a very nice segment on her rock climbing. Unfortunately, she wasn't able to complete the TikTok. And then we learned once Michael completed the course that Michael is one of Flip's tadpoles, which led to a very cool segment later on.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as I heard that, I'm like, well, that's gonna play into later on, you know. But Grace Poole, most adorable girl. She looks exactly like my fiance, like when she was a baby, like instant 101. So I was like, huh, this might be my child one day, or you know, like how she looks, you know. Right.
Oh yeah, she was adorable, absolutely adorable segment. But like I said, small but mighty. Some very, you know, very cool rock climbing, very strong athlete. Unfortunately, the TikTok had her number on this case.
Yeah, she slipped, man.
Yeah, but get this. So I was worried after all the TikTok fails they had in the last episode. I thought, oh no, please. I saw the fast forward coming. I'm like, please don't tell me. I
forgot about that.
Yeah, I thought, are we going to have this again? So Grace versus Paxton in the fast forward. Grace makes a one-handed catch on the cargo net for TikTok. Like, total save that you would not see anywhere else, similar to the other one. Like, just crazy save. Paxton was ahead at that point, but he ended up falling on the spin cycle, and Grace did as well. Unfortunately, she wasn't able to complete the spin cycle, which would have given her, moved her on to the finale.
Mm-hmm.
But looking at the next run, we had Enoch versus Michael. Man, I can't even put to words how much I love this segment. Michael was scared of heights, but Flip helped him to overcome them. It was such a great segment, right? Like watching this kid who was just fantastic. Like, had a great segment, even without that addition. Like, very, very top level athlete. But watching Flip step him through it and catch him as he's like attempting these like cat jumps, I think they're called, and things like walking on these bars high up doing parkour. Like, such a great, interesting segment.
Yeah, and I liked it because it seemed believable. Like, it wasn't something where they were faking it. Like, the footage we saw from him, he was shaky, like, on the top of bars, you know? He didn't seem sure of himself. But we got to see footage of, like, you know, him not just overcoming it, like, all of a sudden and, like, doing these amazing feats. But, you know, Flip being there, catching him, and him, like, you know, Flip being major part of him getting over that mental block of his in the challenge. And it's a real fear that a lot of people have. So, really cool, really shows the relationship between him and Flip, and overall, big fan of this.
Yeah, he ended up falling on the spin cycle, and Enoch was able to complete it. So unfortunately...
Man, but the thing is, he was doing really well ahead of that. This race was really back and forth, and in a way heartbreaking for this kid, just because he was doing so well and made one slip up, and because of that, the other kid made it further, but I mean, I don't know. This was a knockout round, right?
Yeah, it was. It was kind of a.
Man,
it
yeah.
was. Now that you say that, yeah, I do remember thinking like, oh, that sucks. He seemed like he could do well if he had moved on, and it was kind of a tough fall.
Yeah. So if they have a wild card area, I could definitely see this kid being in part of it, like that series. Just because, I mean, I really would have liked to see him in the finals. All the props in the world to Enoch. I mean, he was really good also, but I don't know. I feel like this kid really had more to show.
All right. Let's wrap it up with the finale. I know we usually circle back on these, but we'll do it now. That ended up with Enoch versus Paxton in the finale. Paxton was ahead, Enoch struggling to catch up, and unfortunately he fell short on the second spin cycle, and Paxton ended up bringing it home.
Yeah. I will say Enoch has an adorable like dog plush. Or whatever it is.
Yeah, I forget the name of the dog, but he had a dog that he takes with him every year, a little stuffed dog on the sidelines.
Mm-hmm.
In the 11-12 age bracket, we had Aleksander, the Prodigy Flores, versus Ashton Myler to kick it off.
What a dope nickname, man.
He earned it. What did you think of the Prodigy?
I mean, his segment was amazing, right? Like him doing all these crazy mixed martial arts, or martial arts, I should say. And I actually have a coworker of mine that, trains martial arts like legit, and she was really impressed by his forms. So, I mean, it looked proper to me, but like, I don't know that kind of stuff. But she was like, no, he's like really legit doing his stuff. So good on that kid.
Yeah, he's an 8-time martial arts world champion. Like,
oh, there you go.
Insane credentials. This kid has a lot of skill, and you could see it. His segment was. It reminded me of an old series I hadn't thought of since I was a kid. I should have looked it up. For any old folks out there, I'm pretty sure it was called The Electric Knight. It was this little kid that could do martial arts, and he was like, before like Three Ninjas and a lot of these ones we see later on, this was the kid beating up grown-ups that we all idolized.
You're aging yourself, bro.
Totally. Very 80s
I've never
show.
heard of that in my life.
I'm going to have to go check it out. I'm going to have to go check it out again and get my kid to watch it. But yeah, okay, so we have Aleksander versus Ashton. Ashton being the fourth Myler kid competing. They both took off like a flash, but Aleksander had some crazy moves. He did like a long dismount on the ring toss, which you've seen some of the adult ninjas do before, and did a quick touch and go on the last flywheel to skip by it, basically. Just a very, very solid looking run. Like, he earned that nickname.
Sorry, I had to look it up. Are you talking about the last Electric Knight? That's what you're talking about, right?
Yeah, the last Electric Knight.
It was from 1986, bro.
Yeah, I was 10. Perfect. That's about right, yeah.
I was not born, but okay. It's like...
Amazing show. Check it out. Go find it somewhere.
Yeah.
The last Electric Knight.
I'm sure all the 10-year-olds listening are like, yeah, sure. Totally.
Yeah, I'm going to watch a martial arts kid from the 80s beating up adults. I'm sure it'll look flawless. There will won't be cheesy at all.
Yeah, I can just imagine the resolution of the video and everything. Oh, man.
If I can find even a trailer for it, I will link it in the description.
All right. Back to that. Where were we? I was so focused on that. I'm like, when was this
All right,
made?
so Aleksander the Prodigy ended up winning the race after some very quick moves on the ring toss and on the last flywheel. Like, just a very good run.
Dude, his form on that ring toss was dope. Because at first I was like, what is he doing? He was like doing the back the forward one first and didn't like swing, unhook. I don't know. You have to watch it to see what I mean. But like, it actually worked out for him because he did this, the ring swing in only 2 movements. Really good form. Like, he really figured that one out and came with a really technical, I guess, I don't know, approach.
Yeah, I think we've actually seen Abel Gonzalez do that, and I'm sure that's probably where he got the advice from. That's
Makes
his
sense.
trainer.
Yep.
Next up, we had a fast forward of Gabriel Harvey versus Dylan Benignus. Oh, wow, that's a tough one. They both fell on the flywheels. Gabriel was there first, so he ended up getting the win, which meant that Dylan then went up against Aleksander in the next round. This is where we get the amazing segment with Aleksander, showing his all of his martial arts skills. And he ended up winning it pretty handily. Even took a moment to point at Matt and Akbar as he was running at the wall. Like, he's very, very confident, but not cocky, not in an abrasive way. I just thought it was very, very cool little nod, almost like when we've seen like Noah Kaufman grab the edge of the wall and kind of do a fist pump and those type of things. Like just that nice little touch, a flourish as he was going.
I like those things, It shows like I don't know, coolness, like a swag.
Yeah. Dylan managed to complete the course as well, which was great to see him be able to do that. Next up, we had Gabriel versus Ashton. So Ashton gets ahead and just stays there. It was able to beat the wall this time, and Gabriel ended up falling on the flywheels, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It happens, right? Like, there's not a whole lot to say about that particular run. But that took us into the final with Aleksander versus Ashton. Ashton took an early lead and kept pushing. Like, Ashton really gave Aleksander a run for his money, and the Prodigy that we were talking about so much was really struggling. He had a slip up on the stepping stones. There's a few moments where it looked like he was going to either fall.
He was far behind when they went to the penultimate obstacle. He was, I'm pretty sure, a full obstacle behind.
Yeah, it was not looking good for him at all. But he was able to win when Ashton ended up missing the wall on his first attempt. Aleksander was able to close that gap and then bring it home in the end.
You could see how upset Ashton was, and I feel for the kid because, man, success was right there, or not success, but you know what I mean, like getting the buzzer was right there. But those things happen, and I'm glad at least he had support people with him to, consult and confide into. All around, really, really good race, a lot of back and forth drama. I really enjoy these episodes where not necessarily the person that's in the lead is necessarily going to win, and I like things like these. That said, I feel for the kid.
Yeah, I felt that more in this episode than most. I think there were so many close races and so many good back and forths. It just made for a great episode, but I'm sure a lot of disappointment on the kids that weren't able to make it through to the next round. But that's kind of the nice thing about these shows, right? When especially we watch Ninja versus Ninja, well, even ANW proper, right? Everybody falls. That's just the way it is. It's the nature of competition. You're not always going to win. Mm-hmm. Moving on to the 13-14 age bracket, we have Zach Holman versus Abby McGuire.
Yes. So, dude, this was probably one of my favorite segments. I think both of these kids have amazing personalities and backgrounds, and I was really intrigued by this race. First of all, Zach just stands out from the crowd, right? He just looks different, and not in a bad way, but like this kid seems like he's just a fun, lively person, right? Carefree of the world, like got these crazy curls, just looks like a fun kid with his outfit and everything. And then you have Abby, that's her name, right? Abby?
Yep.
Yeah, Abby, like, first thing you notice is like her arms and shoulder. Like, this girl, like, I was like, all right, she's got a background of something, right? And sure enough, she's doing all these crazy rock climbing like stuff, like climbing trees and doing all this cool rock climbing segments. I don't know. Good on this kid, man. Like, she looks really impressive. So I really was looking forward to this race and seeing which one is gonna prevail, because I kind of really like, I thought these two were gonna be the ones to keep an eye out for.
I kind of slept on Abby a little bit. I was like, okay, she seems strong for sure, but it kind of reeked of one of those
strong but not really trained in ANW.
Yeah. Like, that was the thing. I was like, is she gonna struggle with some of the more ninja-like obstacles? Is she just mainly a climber?
I feel that.
So, but when they took off, Zach had some crazy foot speed. I don't know what it is about the way he moves. It's just got this franticness to it that I love. I could watch him run all day long.
Yeah, it was fun in particular because he looks tiny compared to Abby.
Yeah.
Like, he is tiny, but this kid is just like got a lot of Daniel Gill vibes, in my opinion. Not just because of the hair, but just his fluidity in the way he moves. He's very, very fast.
He kind of reminded me of Hunter Gerard for some reason. Like, he just has that
another good one, yeah.
Crazy speed, kind of interesting personality. Like, it just kind of stood out.
Yeah. That said, I mean, Abby was very strong in the upper body obstacles, in particular the devil steps. I mean, she flew through that one.
That was what I was going to mention next. So Zach got ahead, but Abby crushed the devil steps, like just made them look like a joke. It was crazy to watch. She just blew past them. They were back in sync by the flying shelf grab, and Zach dismounted first and ended up winning that round. It was a very, very cool race.
Yeah, I mean, it was a classic thing, kind of like most martial arts where people have their different strengths and backgrounds. Like, Abby was very, very strong in her upper body, but Zach was very strong in anything in terms of, like, lower body speed, right? And that really made the difference, is the fact that there was an obstacle, like the penultimate obstacle, you got a Lachey. And I guess it's not necessarily lower body, but it is kind of like parkour movement based, right?
Yeah, that's a good point. Next up, we had Brooks Bieber versus Kody Hazan, the Deadhang Ninja.
Yeah, but as soon as I heard the last name Bieber, I'm like, all right, come on, Akbar. Like, let's just get it over with.
Yeah, let's start the puns.
We knew it was coming.
Yeah. But the Deadhang Ninja, what do you think about how long this kid can deadhang?
A whole lot of nope. How? How in the world can you deadhang for 62 minutes? That's over an hour. Like, I literally cannot even deadhang for 2 minutes. It is so painful.
I knew you would have something to say about that, because I know you've talked about deadhangs and how difficult they are before, and I was like, 62 minutes? I didn't know that was humanly possible.
Oh my god! Like, Rich, have you tried a deadhang?
I mean, not for a while.
Just I was like interested. Like, it's so painful. It's so painful, and I get it. I'm a lot heavier than this kid, but still, I mean, even if I was his weight, I don't know if I can even do half of that. Good on him, man. He's got some next level grip.
Some dedication, too, because, I mean, even if my kid could do that, I would not get her to be able to sit still for 62 minutes without video games or a phone or something.
Yeah, good point. I wonder, like, did he have a TV or something with him? Like, 62 minutes, that's a long time to just be hanging there.
It is. His segment got a little sad there for a minute, though. A tornado wiped out his backyard course that he had worked so hard on. That was a little, like, that was upsetting.
Well, sad, but I'm really glad that they didn't, like, I feel like they've just perfected it. They don't ham it up anymore. If this was like ANW years, like ANW 5, man, the sad music, blah, 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 tears, like all that. And I'm not trying to make light of that, but I'm glad the fact is that they show it, but they kind of, I guess, show respect to the segment in a way. Like, this isn't, like, the tornado doesn't define this kid and his story. And I appreciate that they show it, but they also have this positive thing where it's like his friends and the people around him, his community, are, I guess, going to help him rebuild.
Good point. Yeah, they didn't belabor it. They didn't have him staring at a window with, like, rain pattering against it or anything. It was just like, hey, this is what happened, and they're going to rebuild. So hopefully he can get that done. So when it came to the race, Brooks took the lead early and was the first to the wall, but both of them struggled and ultimately failed to complete it. Kind of a crazy segment. And as much as you don't want to see it, man, it's exciting when that happens, when there's two of them struggling on the wall and you're like, will this be the time that they make it? Will this time? And, they're gathering themselves up and they've got one more chance and this is for everything. Can they get their hands up over it with the pressure of the crowd yelling, the exhaustion of just racing through that course? It's one of the better ninja moments.
Yeah, I love that stuff.
So then we moved on to Kody versus Zach. Since Kody, the Deadhang Ninja, had been the last one to the wall, he had to face Zach.
Going into this, I mean, I thought Zach had it just because Zach and Abby both completed the warped wall, and Zach really seems like fast as heck. Now, that said, I mean, why don't you describe this segment about him, man?
So Zach does ski tricks and metal and woodworking art, plays tennis, and about 1,000 other things.
Yeah, like, what doesn't he do?
Yeah, I feel underaccomplished around these kids. Like, what the heck? You're 10, you're 12, you're whatever, 14 even. Like, you haven't even been on this earth that long. I've been at my job longer than you've been alive. And you're just doing all this crazy, amazing things. Like, I feel like I need to do more.
Oh, I just realized you're right. Oh my God, I've been at my job longer than this kid's been alive. Oh, I'm old. Oh, that hurts.
I'm glad I could make you feel a little old.
Oh, that's painful, bro. Oh. Okay, you go on. I'm just gonna go slowly. I think my heart just maybe I had a heart attack. I don't know. I'm getting old. Wow.
All right. So
wow.
Yeah, it was a fairly even race, but Zach pulled ahead, missed the warp wall, and Kody didn't, which brought home the win for him.
I mean, that really surprised me. Like, if you were to ask me which of these two kids weren't going to complete the warped wall, it definitely wouldn't have been Zach. But, I mean, hey, that's what makes ANW ANW, you know? You never know what's going to happen. I'm glad we were able to see Kody prevail, you know, triumph from, you know, the fact that he wasn't able to get up that before. Now he was able to and get the win. And Zach, you know, he struggled, but he was able to get up the warped wall as well. I feel bad for Zach. You could see he was disappointed, but he had a smile on his face at the very end.
Yeah. How could you not? I mean, you got to run a ninja course. You get to be on TV, meet your mentors. There was just a lot to be gained from it, and no reason to look down. He had an amazing race. That actually he was the one that Matt called out to, wasn't it? And said what a great job he did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Next up, we had Brooks versus Abby. It was a very close race with Brooks slightly ahead. He hit the wall first, and I thought he had it. Like, it was all indications that he had it. He had just enough of a lead. He's a taller competitor. He looked like he had no problems with the wall before, but he missed the wall, and Abby didn't and brought home the win. It, like, totally blew me away.
I was just so happy for Abby. Go her. I mean, I think it has to do with the fact that this was a really, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think there was only 2 girls on this entire episode. So, like, instantly she stood out to me like, I'm rooting for you.
I think you're right. I think she was only the second girl on the episode. The other one being the small but mighty. The first one. Yeah. Like,
usually we've got a good mix between the 2 genders, but this one was a little boy heavy. So, I don't know. I was like, girl power, let's do it, you know?
Right. That kind of got me. That moment where she pulled ahead and then took the win at the last second, that made me root for her in the finale. I was like, all right. So I love an underdog. She got it done. Let's see if she could do it in the final race. And we had Kody versus Abby in the final. A very close race the whole way. Kody got to the wall slightly faster and squeaked out a win in the end. It was It was just an episode full of good races.
It was great, man. They were like literally in tandem, like in sync with each other the entire race. But it came on down to the final little lachey on whatever it's called, the jump thing, you know. What's it called, Rich?
The flying shelf grab. The flying
shelf grab, yeah. So during the final shelf, Abby did 2 kip-ups while Kody only did 1, and I guess that made all the difference because both of them bolted up that warped wall. I mean, sometimes you just gotta go for it.
Yep. Another fantastic episode in the books. Very pleased to continue our coverage of it, and we will continue it on again next week.
Man, I'm so happy because I was genuinely heartbroken that like last week where I was like, oh my God, I'm not even going to be able to finish this. And I really like this show. I'm glad, you know, there's a way.
All right. So that is it for this week. If you'd like to reach out to me, you can reach me as rich@ninjapodcast.com. I am at Ninja Podcast on both Instagram and Twitter. And Bijan, how can they reach you?
Yeah, hit me up at Twitter and Instagram at Bijan151. That is Bijan 151.
All right. Thank you all so much for listening, and I hope you have a wonderful week.
Peace, love, and deuces, y'all.